Hi friends! Welcome back to our channel.
Yeah, episode whatever.
Episode something.
Episode something. You look very handsome.
You look very handsome.
East Coast, it's our 1 year. Actually, that's a lie. No, because it was West Coast.
Yeah.
So technically, in 3 hours, it'll be our 1 year anniversary.
It'll be our 1 year anniversary. A year ago, I flew to LA for the first time to go visit him. When I got there, I was like, now that I've flown across the country for you, if you don't say yes to being my boyfriend, I'm gonna have to never fly across the country for a man again.
Yeah, an ultimatum. It worked really well. And it did. It did.
It really did. So that's why we put on some nicer outfits.
Yeah, that's why I dressed up and he's wearing a very expensive t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that not accurate?
No.
It's not?
You are right.
Well, I don't need, am I being accurate?
Yes.
Great. Anyway, that is not the point of this episode.
Yeah, that's not the point of this video. So today, what did we want to do?
So today we figured we were going to chat about our coming out stories, because those were fun, and I think we've touched on them before on other content we've created and some videos, but we're going to dedicate 12 minutes to both of our stories, and 11 of them are going to go to me, and one of them is going to go to you. How does that sound?
What about the bloopers?
I guess we'll make it 14 minutes. You'll still get a minute, but the bloopers have to still get there too.
Got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, or it might be 10 minutes.
Oh, the 10-minute video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. Can you? Yeah.
Leave them wanting more.
Totally. I can do something in 9 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so without further ado.
Adieu.
Yeah. It's French. It's actually how you say it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just get right down to it. So, you want to give us your...
My coming out story?
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine's pretty short. It's just, I came from the family that was like, we always knew. So, actually, I knew this about myself when I was in 6th grade, that I was different, because I remember some guy came to speak at our school, and I started, feeling things, and later that night, I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh God, what am I thinking? What are these thoughts coming to my head? I was like, there's no way, I can't be like this. There's no way. So then I opened up Lady Gaga's Telephone music video to the part where she climbs up on the bars and she's not wearing anything. And I literally just stared at it and I was like, be attracted to her, be attracted to her. And then I was like, yeah, I think she's pretty. I must not be gay. And then I shut the computer. Now, looking back on it, the irony of picking a Lady Gaga video to help prove that I was not gay, I should have known in that moment with my actions that I am just...
What, you didn't know in that moment?
No, I had thought I was starting to have gay thoughts, so then I was like, no, there's no way, it can't be. Because I was in 6th grade.
I
and then
see.
7th grade, out the window.
How old are we in 6th grade?
We're 12, 13.
Wow. Oh my God. That's so much pressure. To have that experience, to have this new thing developing in you and this feeling that's not tangible and you can't really explain. And I mean, it was different in my day. In my day, you really were sort of alone.
I don't know, though I also was pretty alone being at an all-boys school in DC. No one else had come out in 7th grade. But yeah, I came out to a few of my friends. You making this about you?
No, I was just thinking if I was at an all-boys school,
Yeah, tell me what you would have done at 12.
That's another story. Anyway, let's keep going.
So I started telling some of my friends in 7th grade. I think I came out as bi first because I tried to dip my toes in the water and be I'm not fully there. All of my friends were very receptive and very open to it. But one of my friends actually ended up telling their mom, and then their mom ended up telling my mom. And that is how my parents found out. I never came out to my parents personally, but as I've said on some other channels, my dad always says, Christopher never had to come out to me, and neither did his sister. And my sister's straight, but he says that as a way of saying, my kids did not have to come out to me because it's not my business what their sexuality is. And I think that's such a beautiful way of putting it. So my dad has that response whenever some of his friends or people ask him, when did your son come out to you? And I think that's just a beautiful way to put it. And it also shows other parents, your kids don't owe you an explanation on their sexuality, because at the end of the day, it's up to them who they love. That's always such a beautiful thing. And when my dad told me that, I didn't even know that's how he told other people about my coming out story. And I was just blown away. So that's kind of my coming out story. Of course, I dealt with shitty people, especially at the all-boys school. There were a fair amount of homophobes, and our teachers used to make us debate gay marriage, which is just like, now looking back, it's so crazy that teachers used to make people debate gay marriage instead of just being the voice of support in the room.
That was allowed. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I definitely had my hard times, but I think in having such a close chosen family friend group that would defend me and that would fiercely back who I was, I think I was really grateful and lucky to be able to have that kind of experience coming out. Also, just being in a relatively liberal place, Washington, D.C., I really haven't had too bad of an experience with it. I don't think coming out is easy for anyone, but I think sometimes the circumstances around coming out can be very helpful, and I think I had a lot of really helpful people around me. So whenever people message me things about coming out, I just always try to remind them that you don't owe that information to anyone, and that it's okay if you need to keep it in if you don't feel safe telling that information. Tell it to your chosen family and the people who you know are going to support you and love you, because that's what I did.
Wow, that's very beautiful. My favorite part about that is Dad's response. I just think that that's really, really smart. And he's a great dad. And you have a great mom. My coming out story was in the 1800s. Phone was just being invented back then. We had a shortage of phone. Anyway, no.
Phone.
Phone was truly just being invented. When you were phoning a friend, you really were I don't even know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had joined a performing arts high school, and freshman year of that, I was wearing Jinko pants. Like, I was just like that rocker dude who listened to Korn with a K, loved Garbage, who I still love now, but like, I just was kind of a mishmash of people, and like, I shopped at Pacific Sunwear. You know what I mean?
Hot.
So I had long orange hair. I got into this acting program. I was like new to this arts thing because I stopped doing it for a really, really long time. And so I went from the UK to Miami, and all of a sudden I was in like public school. I just like dropped everything I ever did. Like, I didn't swim anymore. I didn't do acting. And so to be back in high school in an arts setting, which felt very foreign, I was already like a fish out of water. And halfway through, I switched to musical theater because they knew I could dance and sing. And so all of a sudden it was like, we're gonna breed you to be gay. But like, I joined that musical theater class, and I remember Annalise Collette and Allison Isikoff, Kelly LaFarga, Noemi Del Rio, at a party towards the end of that freshman year, we're like, Ian, like, come on, like, you can tell us, like, truly it's okay and all this stuff. And we were dancing and having a ball, and like, I remembered I was like going off dancing to like Sean Paul, because I love dance hall. And I just remember like that song was playing, we were living, everybody was like, work, Ian, he can dance. And then it was like, oh my God, you're such a good dancer. Tell us everything. Like, it's cool, you're fun, you know. And they meant, it was very lovey, but it was also like super like not precious, like pressure. And I just was like, yeah, I guess I'm gay, like, yeah, it's okay, woohoo. And then we kept dancing. And then the next morning we had class, or like that next Monday, and I took it back. They were like, oh my God, like, Ian, like, how are you feeling? As though like I was this new person, kind of like when it's your birthday and they're like, how does it feel? Felt like yesterday, but this time around I was reneging the coming out thing. I was like, no, I take it back. I forget what those conversations were like, but they were by lockers, and there was checkered floored hallways, and it was just denial. I was just scared and super nervous, but then all of a sudden it was like this unsaid, okay, I'm gay kind of thing. That happened end of freshman year, and then sophomore year, I was literally pretending I still liked girls. My best friend, Kelly LaFarga now, who's on the Wicked National Tour, plug. She was a girl I had a crush on. Another crush, Lana Spitaleri, who owns Chocolate and the Chip, best cookies you'll ever eat, was a crush who became my best friend. And that's truly just the textbook story of how that all goes. So that happened all the sophomores and, you know, all of that year at school. And then like the official coming out to my dad was junior prom. I was a junior. I was invited by a senior for her prom, and it was really fun. My dad picked me up from the festivities the next morning, and we were having like a good time. I was in a really good mood. I was focusing on my blooming, and I just like felt really good, and we were vibing, and I had this moment of like, this should be a beautiful moment to share this thing. I want to get it off my chest. I was just like, Dad, I have something to tell you. And he was like, are you gonna tell me you like boys? And I was like, yes, I am. how did you know that? And he was like, Ian, I'm your father. And I've known since you were a baby. And I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, I've known since you were like 2 years old. I mean, he dated it. And I remembered kind of feeling relief. And then I had questions about it because I was just like, well, what was I giving at 2 years old? It was so obvious. It was just different back then. Like, how could you really tell? Was it the Shirley MacLaine impersonations? Maybe it was the Debbie Allen America. Anyway, so that happened with Dad. That was like a beautiful like bonding moment. And you know, he kind of gave me like the health talk of like, just make sure you're careful when it comes to like sex. It wasn't that blunt, but it was just like, he saw the AIDS epidemic happen and he lived through that and he had friends who died from that. And so I think the child coming out and saying I am this seemed like the appropriate thing for him to explain to me. And then he said, let's not tell your mother. And I was like, oh, okay, like why? He's like, nah, you know, like what she won't know won't hurt her. And I just remember being like, okay, like I agree, like she's Spanish, Catholic, essentially religious at the time. She still is, but I understood. But now where I'm at, I thought if I would have just come to her with this information, she would have just had to deal with it. But there was no need to bring it up, and like, I wasn't the best at communication then. You just trust your dad. You go, he's like, nah, maybe not. And I go, okay, well, you've known her longer than I have, so sure. And it just felt good to like share that with one parent, so I kind of kept it to him. And my mom knew, just it was so obvious, like Jinko jeans. But then some years went by, I went to college, I would come back, my mom and I started having more of a friendly relationship just because like she was at work all the time and I was coming into my own as an adult. And so when I'd come home from college for breaks and stuff, we used to have like a Saturday night go out moment and go to dinner together. And over Appletinis at Bal Harbor Shops at Carpaccio, our favorite restaurant, I was just like, Mom, like, you know I'm gay, right? That's how I said it. Introducing new information as though she already knew it, but she did. And then also my dad being like, I've known since you were 2, like, Mom, you're in the same house. And she was like, oh yeah, you know, I mean, it was like, not surprised, also like, okay, like we don't have to talk about it. But it just felt good, again, for me to just be like, okay, I just wanna make sure that you're not expecting, you know, a wife and things. That's how that happened, and like, it was fine. And when I brought Chris home this year, first boyfriend I ever brought home, she was like a mother from Savannah, just like, would you like some sweet tea and all this stuff and blah, 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 but like Spanish style, like feeding him like crazy. And she was capable of retaining the information and she was there for me.
Those are our stories.
Those are our stories. I think I got my 9 minutes in.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this.
Yes, very happy to have you here.
We hope you were able to connect on some type of way, even if you didn't have a coming out moment. Coming out is kind of just another step in growing up. And we all have hard moments of growing up and things we have to disclose to people and hard things to go through, because that age of like growing up, going through puberty is just like so hard. And I think people frequently downplay it because we're teenagers during that time, but like, that's all we know. We don't know what it's like to be an adult. So at that point in that moment, that is the hardest time of our life. So if you're going through something right now and people may be belittling it and be like, wait until you're an adult, just know it's important and find people who care about it. We care about it because we've been there and we know how hard it is, and whatever you're going through right now matters. And we're here for you through YouTube, through TikTok, through anything. We're sending that energy.
I was just thinking coming out is not like that one moment with my dad or that one dinner with my mom or that moment with hearing about what happened with your dad. There's no arrival on it. Like the coming out thing of like letting them know who you are is a beautiful moment because it can allow you to all of a sudden just be who you've been without feeling like there's this elephant in the room. But I think living who I was after that was very, very important, and almost the rest of your coming out story is just how you live your life after that. And even if you didn't come out, it's how you live your life and then how they experience you. So how do you want to be experienced? How do you want to experience? Answer those questions and then do that.
Yeah. We love you.
We love you.
And remember to focus
on
your
blooming.
Bye. Oh, you missed a spot shaving.
Well, luckily it's from this side.
Oh, yes.
Take a breath.
I have to itch my nose really badly, but like I don't want to do that, you know?
Why not?
Right now. Okay.
Because you're not a regular human being. Guys, he's itching his nose. Like they're not gonna say that.
I have to itch my nose again.
Yeah, let everyone know you have to do it before you do it, so it's like, so it doesn't look like I'm doing it, but all you've just done is plugged it into the camera and their head.
Yeah, because I have seen when I do it, and I'm like, stop itching your nose.
Who is that? You?
Me.
Your own thought?
Yeah. Can we stop talking about this? Why are you getting me on this tangent? Aren't we doing a video about our coming out stories?
I know, and somehow we got lost because you got all tripped up about me.
You made us get lost. My dad says that in response to... Can you let me finish?
I am! I'm reacting to the camera, not even reacting to you! Oh, God, that'll be another episode of like, why I am who I am, and why I talk the way I talk is because I didn't get to at home. Well, we don't have an AD to press stop recording.
Oh, that's me, that's me.
It could be me, but you never let me do it.
Oh my god.
What? Do I look great?
It wasn't recording.
Are you f***ing serious?
No. It was recording. I got him. I got him good.
Today on Ian Paget Life, a murder. Boyfriend found decapitated.